What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this afternoon. So what we're going to be covering in this video is a brief Vortex short interest and utilization update to give us a better understanding of where we are at right now with the estimates that Vortex is giving us based on the exchange reported short interest. Now, in addition to this, we're going to go over the potential for this gamma squeeze that a lot of us have been looking for over the last couple of weeks. Again, if we can continue this price move up, I know that at the current time that I'm recording, we are down on the day, but if we can continue a positive uptrend throughout the end of this week and even next week, we still have the potential for a significant gamma squeeze. Now, we're also going to go over a completely idiotic price target that we have basically seen come out from CNBC, those FUD spreaders, that essentially says that they think that AMC is going to fall essentially 80%. And what I would have to say to that is good luck with that prediction. There is no sign that AMC is slowing down anytime soon. And one of the main reasons for that is yesterday there was a massive imbalance in terms of how many buy orders for how many shares there were. We're going to go over exactly what this means, but in short, nobody is selling this stock. Retail is not selling, institutions is not selling. Shout out to Jackson Hunter for the nobody is selling this thing reference. And everybody is continuing to buy more. We are starting to see the demand come back in. And today looks like it is going to just be a small pullback before we continue that trend to the upside. Now, before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And the more people that we have staying up to date with accurate AMC information, the stronger our community becomes. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So when we're coming over to this Vortex update right here, we have the utilization at about 92.08%. Now, today we are seeing, let's see if I can refresh this page just to make sure we have an accurate understanding. We're seeing the short interest at 16.86%. They haven't really borrowed that many shares today, and they've returned a decent amount of shares. If there was a net return of shares for AMC today of negative or of essentially 276,000 shares, I would not expect to see the price action that we are seeing with the price going down. If the shares that are being returned are covered shorts over the last couple of days or even today, I would expect to see the price continuously go up. So what could potentially be happening is that a lot of these shares that have gone out on loan over the past couple of days have not actually been sold into the market. And the reason why we are seeing the price action that we are seeing today is that finally those shares that have gotten loaned out have now been shorted. Now, when we come over to Stonko Tracker, for this week, we have 44,000 contracts in the money at the current time. This was up to, I believe, about 70 or 80,000 as of yesterday. But again, since we've seen this price move to the downside, we did see a lot of these contracts run out of the money. But again, this weekly options expiration date is not necessarily what I am looking for in order to have this big gamma squeeze. The big gamma squeeze potential is coming up on that September 17th monthly options expiration date. Now, with monthlies versus weekly options expiration dates, we typically see more open interest and more volume on the monthly expiration dates versus the weekly expiration dates. Now, moving over to this honestly just silly article from CNBC, Macquarie downgrades AMC on poor box office, predicts 80% stock decline. What I would have to say to that is just short it then. See what happens to your short position if you decide to short AMC at these levels with retail investors really behind this stock. And what they don't necessarily realize or fail to even try and realize is that some of the largest and smartest institutions are continuously buying more AMC. The short thesis on AMC at the current time is done. It no longer makes a lot of sense. We are seeing AMC get into streaming. We are seeing the world economy start to open back up, and people do want to go out into the marketplace and go see a movie. So honestly, if they want to short it, it's their own money to lose. They can go right ahead. That will eventually come back to us, in my opinion, when they cover these shorts. Now, what we need to get into here is the fact that retail and institutions, most likely retail, is just continuing continuously buying the stock and is showing no signs of letting up anytime soon. We have this right here, AMC Entertainment Holdings, New York Stock Exchange, order imbalance, 4.7 million shares on the buy side. Now, when we come over here, this confirms it. It is from Reuters, and this is the same number right here. And when we come back over here, it is basically cited by Reuters as well. So what is this market imbalance, and what does it necessarily mean? Well, when we come over to Investopedia, order imbalance is a situation resulting from an excess of buy or sell orders for a specific security on a trading exchange, making it impossible to match the orders of buyers and sellers. For securities that are overseen by a market maker or specialist, shares may be brought in from a specified reserve to add liquidity, temporarily clearing out excess orders from the inventory so that the trading in the security can resume at an orderly level. Extreme cases of order imbalance may cause suspension of trading until the imbalance is resolved. Now, most likely this imbalance has already been resolved because we have not seen one of these halts. But what this does tell us is that the buying demand for AMC, the buy orders that are coming in, most likely vastly outweigh the sell orders that are coming in. Now, this could be from a variety of reasons. Again, like we said earlier, some of those shares went out on loan and they weren't actually shorted into the market yet. Or we are not seeing people holding long positions on AMC willing to sell. We are seeing the potential for this stock to reach all-time highs in the near future. And I would actually agree that we are near another very significant run-up. Now, there is also something else that I want to get into with you guys, that a lot of people were a little bit freaked out yesterday on the live stream. We tried to go over it, and I just want to give you guys my thoughts on what exactly is happening with this new Cftc filing. So, or basically announcement. When we come over here, we can see that the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's Market Participants Division today issued a time-limited no-action letter concerning capital and financial reporting obligations for swap dealers, subject to capital requirements of a prudential regulator, Bank SD's swap dealers, under the CFTC's swap dealer financial reporting rules. Under the relief, in lieu of complying with the CFTC's financial reporting requirements and subject to certain specified conditions, bank swap dealers may report utilizing certain alternative forms, filing deadlines, and or reporting standards that are otherwise applicable to them by their prudential or home country regulators. So at face value, it looks like they are trying to get around the reporting of a lot of these swaps on their balance sheet. But what we really have to think about is how good was the reporting to begin with? It honestly probably wasn't that great. So the fact that we are seeing this right now most likely isn't going to change a whole lot. Now, when we come down right here, this is something that I think we need to talk about. The CFTC staff determined that providing the conditional relief on a temporary basis would not adversely impact its ability to monitor the capital position of bank swap dealers to the extent of its obligation under the Commodity Exchange Act and the CFTC regulation. So what they're saying here is they don't think that this is going to impact their ability to basically figure out what these institutions hold. Now, this could just be a BS statement for them to cover themselves in order to basically let these banks do what they want to do, or they actually are going to be able to see what these banks are holding. Now, the thing is this is going to be coming into effect on October 6th, but we know that today, September 1st, is when that Phase 5 UMR rule kicks in that is supposed to vastly increase the volume of margin calls surrounding these OTC derivative positions. This one CFTC rule most likely is not going to change a whole lot. And something that we have been saying on a lot of our channels over the past couple of weeks and months is that there isn't going to be one proposed rule change that is basically going to set off the squeeze. I think it's the same thing with these proposed rule changes or notices that could also potentially have some adverse effects on the reporting standards or the outcome of the squeeze. I don't think this is really going to be a big deal playing out in the long term. We are going to see what happens, but again, it really all comes down to, have the shorts covered their position? At the current time, they have not, so nothing has really changed. And in my opinion, eventually we are going to get to the prices where a lot of these smaller shorts are going to have to cover, a lot of these medium shorts are going to have to cover, and that is going to push the share price up even higher than what we would see on a FOMO rally gamma squeeze in those small percentage of shorts covering. That could eventually get us to the levels where the larger institutions that everybody all is very against and basically saying, yeah, we need these institutions to go out of business, yada, 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 that would be the point when those institutions could potentially start realizing their losses and covering their short position. So we are really waiting to see what happens after this next leg up. And again, I have said in the past that I believe that we are one or potentially 2 June or January-like events away from basically letting this thing really play out in terms of widespread covering. Now, we don't necessarily know what the price levels would potentially be where a lot of these shorts would start to cover a significant portion of the actual shares that are out in the market that have been shorted. But I would speculate that after the next really big leg up, we would see a lot higher percentage of a lot of these shorts start to cover, and that would push us up to even higher levels. So that is mainly going to wrap up this update on AMC. And again, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback today. We have been here before. We have seen things like this happen. And when you think about where we have come from since June, we have been on basically a steep downtrend, basically a steep and steady downtrend over the last month and a half. We are finally starting to see this bullish momentum come back into the stock, and we have seen some very significant green days over the last week. A red day of this magnitude is not going to change anything in my opinion. It just allows us to pull back the slingshot even more for an even bigger price run up. So that is going to wrap up this update on AMC. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I'm trading and which strategies I'm using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.